I took off down memory lane, back to my childhood once again. I'd like to go back there. I'd like to go back there. I'd like to go back there. Just for a day. Remember the house in the hills of home, from Fort Sling, rolling on. I'd like to go back there. Go back there. I'd like to go back there. Just for a day. Our house was built on a wooden frame, an oaken roof. I do hear the rain. I'd like to go back there. I'd like to go back there. I'd like to go back there. Just for a day. I went to school in a different shack. My belly slowly I'm back. I'd like to go back there. Go back there. I'd like to go back there. Just for a day. We went to church on Sunday morning. Forget to see we had to leave early. I'd like to go back there. Go back there. I'd like to go back there. Just for a day. After church we'd all get around. All kinds of fellowship, dinner on the ground. I'd like to go back there. I'd like to go back there. I'd like to go back there. Just for a day. I thank God for memory lane. When I get lonesome, I'll go back again. I love to go back there. I love to go back there. I love to go back there. Every now and then. Now I love to go back there. I love to go back there. I love to go back there. Every now and then.
Mr. Coach, it's your turn.
Brother Terry invited Michiko, and he's done nothing but talk really, really good about her talent. And I'm glad that somebody loves Jesus enough to use their talent for him. So we'll be praying for you, and we're excited about you. Now, if it doesn't work, we can get you one that will. Hello? Can you turn it up, Ruth?
How's that?
Started, I just want to say, I want to give blessings to the Littleton family and to all the friends and relatives that came today to see my baby Rainbow get baptized today. And I rebuke the devil in her area, surrounding her shell, every which way that she go, that she be blessed, every footstep that she take. And I love you, Rain. Love everybody. I'm gonna be ready.
There you go. Praise his holy name.
I was free to do what I wanted to. Lost everything, but I still had you. You showed me your grace. Now my life's renewed, and I thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I thank you.
Praise his holy name.
So I tell you all who's listening, I'll testify about how good you were to me when so good friends passed me by. The fact that you will show somebody so broke down, so much mercy beyond what I see. I know you know what's best for me.
He knows.
Prepare my mind and prepare my heart for whatever comes. I'm gonna be ready. Give me the strength to pass any test. I know that I'm so blessed. You're in control, Lord. I can't go wrong, 'cause I know that I'm gonna be. So use me as you will. I'll pay the price.
Hey.
You made the ultimate sacrifice. It's all because of you that I even have life, and I give my life as a tribute to how great you are. Sign me up what I see. You know what's best for me.
Yeah, you do.
Prepare my mind and prepare my mind for whatever comes. I'm gonna be ready. Straight to pass any test. I know that I am, know that you're in control, Lord.
Yeah.
I can't go wrong. 'Cause I know I'm gonna be ready. This time I'm gonna be, 'cause you didn't take me side of me.
There you go.
Every time I sing a song from Yolanda Adams' collection, it just overwhelms me from the inspiration that she gives me. She has guided me through a lot of my situations that I've been through in life. Just listening to her, she just makes me cry and feel warm and safe, and she responds to me from the Lord, and I know it's the words that she say that are meant for me. If nobody else don't mean it, the words that she's saying, they mean a lot to me. And that's why I chose this song, because I never knew when I was going to be ready, but now I know standing in the Lord's house, and every time that I mention his name, I'm ready for anything he can carry me through. And I don't know which way I'm going, but I know he's going to turn me loose, and when he turn me loose, I'm going to be that tornado. Because the devil cannot defeat me, and he is a liar for anybody that he try to touch minds. My friends, my loved ones, family, anybody. If you my friend, you're a friend of God's. Thank you, Jesus.
Up here, might as well. God bless you all. Jesus is all we need. So, when the day is done and there's no one else around, You fill me when I'm empty. There is nothing else. You're all I need. I'm tied to everything that you do. Nothing compares to you. You are all I need when I'm surrounded. You are all I need if I'm by myself. You fill me when I'm empty. There is nothing else. You're all I need. You're all I need.
Turn your Bibles to Luke chapter 14. So you came here today. You know that you've got plans. You know that things are happening in your life. And you're looking for an answer. A lot of you came here not thinking you're coming for an answer. You thought you were coming for something else. Jesus has you here for a reason. In verse 25 says, there were great multitudes with him, and he turned and said to them, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. You can have a seat. The reason that we read this is that there's a lot of people in this world today that think a lot of things about their lives and what they do. And I got a question for you. I know that I have. Have you ever failed at something? Any of you feel like life around you is just being a failure right now? That things just aren't working out the way that they should, and you're troubled on every hand. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to do it, but you know that there has to be an answer for your life. Somehow, does anybody else besides me ever feel that way? I'm telling you. Man, I try the best I know how. I try to live right. I really do. And sometimes, everything around me just falls apart. Back week, last 2 weeks, I guess, for me, not only we've been sick, but the fellow that helped me a lot when I was on my own, we were roommates, I guess, for 2 or 3 years. At Marshall, and he was playing a game of ping pong with one of our friends, had a massive heart attack and died. Completely devastated. I went to the services Wednesday night and didn't even have the heart to go up and see his wife, although I will go later. And then no more got home and was talking to Jesus and said, Jesus, he took care of himself. He ate right. He was an athlete. He didn't do wrong. You know, why'd you have to take him? He got his life straightened out. He was going to church. Matter of fact, he went from being just plumb wrong to doing what was right in life. They said he was one of the best workers in the church they'd seen, which made my world. I got home from the funeral the next day and went to work, and my sister called me and she said, not only did Philip die, your friend Bruce died too. I thought, what a failure, really, truly. What a failure I was. Bruce didn't know the Lord when he got saved. He didn't know Jesus, as far as anybody knows. Matter of fact, Bruce died in prison. He got sent to prison for one thing and hurt somebody while he was in there, and they just kept him. I don't know about you feeling like a failure, and I don't know what you do, but there was only one place I could turn. Matter of fact, Bruce says that there's something wrong with it. I got in real trouble and started reading my Bible and just went to my little room and started reading and got in the middle of it, and the phone rang and it was Bubby. And Bruce said, I started reading my Bible and was really getting into it and was praying. And I said, that's about the third time when I got in the middle of it that Bubby's called. She said, there's something wrong with that synchronization. You start feeling trouble and Bubby calls. I said, Jesus knows what I need. I don't know. I don't know. You're here this morning And some of you, a lot of you really have some serious problems going on in your life. I'm not saying that you're the problem, but I'm saying that you've really got some issues going on that other folks don't understand. And you know, and I've already asked, do you feel that way too? Now, the second thing is, knowing that you've got some problems going on in your life, knowing that things are falling apart, how would you really like to have the answer? How many of you with problems would really like to know the answer for your life? Let me ask you this. If Jesus shows you out of His Word how to fix that problem, would you really do what He said to do? So I read the verse that I did. Jesus said, unless you hate your father and your mother, your brothers and your sisters, you can't be none of mine. I'd like for you to know why before we go on with this. Because Jesus, if He's going to be in control of your life, He's got to be number one. Mommy and daddy got to be number two. Children's got to be number two. Husband or wife has to be number two. People that aren't living right have to be 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Jesus has to be number one in your life. The Bible teaches me that Jesus told them a story. It says, what king?
What king is there that goes out to war
That doesn't sit down first and count the cost? Let me tell you how the generals do it. They say, if we attack on this ridge over here, we're probably going to lose out of our 30,000 men. We're going to probably lose 4,000, but we can take the ridge and we can get off this. And he counts the cost. He says, but they're going to lose 8,000. There's going to be some loss in your life, and there's going to have to be some things cut out that are going to hurt you. You think it doesn't hurt that general to lose those men, you're just crazy. He's responsible, and he answers for those men. There's going to have to come a time when you do it. He tells them another one. He said, who's going to sit down and say, I'm going to build a tower. I'm going to build a pretty tower. Man, I am going to build this up. I am going to get this done without first sitting down and counting the cost. What happens when you run out of blocks when you're building your tower and you get it halfway up and you look around and say, I don't have enough money to finish the tower? The Bible, Jesus says, people start making fun of you. They're going to start laughing at you. Start working on something and quit middle. People do that about getting saved. Oh, I love Jesus with all my heart. I'm going to give Him my everything. I'm going to get saved. I am today going to start doing right until tomorrow. And they count the cost and they'll say, no. I can't cut that out. Jesus knows my heart. Now, Eddie really helped me with this sermon this week. Eddie had a bad problem with his car. Eddie had saved his money. He really did. And he had a new motor put in his car. And it started running, and boy, life was good for him. Except it would run, then it would quit. Then it would run, then it would quit. It would run, and then it would quit. He said, oh, Lord, I got a problem. That fella put in that motor done messed up. I said, that feller's not under that hood. There's a motor under that hood. There's something wrong. It's not the fellow that put the motor in. The fellow that put the motor in did not control that motor. There wasn't nothing wrong with the motor. There was something wrong with the wiring. He takes it to another mechanic. He looks at it and he says, don't know what to do. Another man walks outside and he looks at it and he says, watch this. And he held one wire. He held a wire and jiggled around it, and he said, Dad, my car went from going boom, 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 to boom. And the man said, here's your problem. You've got a wire, and this wire's touching this wire, and it's hurting your computer in your car. If we take one little piece of black tape, we put it around that wire, it'll fix the problem. You see, sometimes you just need to look under the hood for the problem. You're wanting to blame everybody in the world. It's the church's fault. I don't like the way the pastor does that. Listen, I'm just going to quit. The problem is when you quit, you're going to drag 7 people, and you're going to destroy their lives with you. Amen. You are? You think this is all about you? This ain't nothing about you, pal. You think that your life, the way that you're doing it, listen, have you ever seen a family get torn out? Tired of it. Tired of it. Somebody's the problem. Sometimes you need to cut your losses. I ain't telling you that you don't lay in every time. You have to cut your losses. Sometimes you just have to get out of a bad situation. You do. You can't do wrong and get by. But if you've got a problem, you need to look under the hood first. The next thing you need to do is you need to check your wiring. Now, I want you to know something. I have learned this about being a pastor. Every one of you out there is wired a little bit different. You really are. Man, it amazes me. You can say something to one person, it'll hurt their feelings, and they'll be mad at you for 3 months. And you cannot say it to somebody else because you hurt their feelings and say, it's all I needed you to do was tell me that. And you count it the cost. Jesus says that you have to do something. Jesus says if you decide to follow him, that it's going to cost you some things. Number one, this morning, you have gone through this battle. Do I quit? Do I go on? Do I stay with this? Do I go on? Well, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. We all know, everybody in this building this morning knows, without question, the real answer is to let Jesus be in your life and let him lead your life and get things straightened out. Brother Ed, I tried that and bad things happen. Well, I need to tell you this, and I hate telling you, but you're still going to reap everything that you've already sown. Amen. Listen, if you planted that seed, it's still going to grow, and it's going to flower. And sometimes it's going to multiply. But in the end, what is happening is you turn your life over to Jesus, you start planting seeds that he tells you to plant, and good things start blooming down the road. Amen. I don't know. Lots of people this morning said they had problems, but really and truly, wouldn't you really like to know down the road sometime there's an answer for your problems? Aren't you tired of being disgusted all the time? Listen, you go through cycles. Everything's real good. Lord, I'm on top of the world. I forget Jesus. I do what I want to do. I don't like that fella. I don't like him, nor the horse he rode in on. And I told you before, the horse ain't got nothing to do with it. There's just a fella throw the saddle on it, put the reins on it, and started riding it. Don't hold nothing against the horse. This morning, this message, get mad at me if you want, but I ain't the fella that wrote the book. Jesus says, if you're going to follow him and you really want your life straightened out, and some of you got some serious problems in your life. I ain't saying that you're bad. I'm saying that people that are just idiots come up and you have to deal with them. Have you ever seen people that just do bad things and you think, why do I have to put up with them on a daily basis? Every time that I got to do good, they're in my face. Something happens, I'm getting tired of putting up with it. Maybe something's wrong with the wiring. I'm going to tell you and we went to the funeral this week, but two little stories. One of them that he reminded me of, every Friday evening they had a place where I grew up called the Spinning Wheel. A place called Newtown, West Virginia, and everybody would go there on Friday evenings, and you could take on anybody you want. You put the boxing gloves on, and everybody would fight, and you could take your turn. And I'd gone, I guess, 2 or 3 months, and every Friday night there was a fellow named Andy just beat my brains out. Why I went back, I don't know. And I was all dejected, and I was all sad, and I told Philip, I said, Philip, no matter how hard I try, I can't whoop him. He just beat me to death. He said, have you ever considered just not showing up on Friday night? If you're throwing yourself into a bad situation, you need to check under the hood. I'm sorry. When he was little, Jamie, some of the greatest wisdom I ever got was from my middle daughter, Jamie. And this is what would happen. My son Eddie, all the time, would want to arm wrestle. And you know the little fella wasn't going to beat me. And he would go and he'd grab my hand and he'd say, ever who says Uncle first loses, and he'd grunt, strain.
And he'd do everything he could. And finally, he kept doing it and kept doing it. And we knew he wasn't going to win. And finally, Jamie looked at him one day and she said, "Just say Uncle, stupid." Some of you are fighting Satan on a daily basis. Some of you are fighting Satan about really turning your life back over to him. You really are. I got some words of wisdom for you. Just say Uncle, stupid. If you'll turn your life over to Jesus, you're going to have to make some decisions. You're going to have to make a decision